Hey everyone, today we're diving headfirst into a topic that can feel a bit overwhelming, decluttering. Whether you're facing a mountain of clothes that haven't seen the light of day in years, a kitchen overflowing with gadgets that you only use once a year, or just a general sense of stuff overload, you are not alone. In this episode, we're going to break down decluttering into bite-sized pieces, and I will share practical tips and strategies to help you conquer the clutter and create a space that you truly love. We'll be covering everything from the 4-box method to the tough questions you need to ask yourself before you toss or keep that sentimental item. So, put on your decluttering pants and let's get started on creating a more peaceful and organized home. Hey homeschool mom, I'm Erika Sagert on the Intentional Homeschooler podcast with more actionable steps and encouragement for your homeschooling journey so you can confidently and intentionally homeschool your children without sacrificing your sanity. Grab a pen and paper, your favorite cup of brew, and let's get started. I think we can all agree that clutter can be a real struggle. And what's funny is what feels like clutter to one person might actually feel perfectly normal to someone else. We all have that friend whose house looks completely different from ours. But here's the thing. Even if our tolerance for clutter varies, we all need some level of organization in order to thrive. And as homeschoolers, oh boy, organization becomes even more important. It's like the foundation for a successful homeschool experience. Today, let's tackle the clutter with some great general suggestions and some room-specific tips as well. All right, so we are going to first start with some general tips. So first and foremost, start small. It can feel overwhelming if you try to tackle the whole house at once. In fact, you start pulling everything apart and you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to want to finish what you started. Instead, begin with a very small area, something like your junk drawer in the kitchen or a small corner that just is really gotten cluttered, or maybe there's that drawer in your bathroom that you can start with. Once you've accomplished that, you'll feel motivated to keep going. And might I add, take a before and after picture. It is so rewarding to see that before and after picture. So don't forget to take that picture before you get started. All right, the second general tip is to set a timer. So set a timer for 15 to 30 minutes and just focus on decluttering during that time. So kind of limit the amount of time that you let yourself do it. So that way you can finish, but not get so deep that you get overwhelmed. We can all do something for 15 to 30 minutes. So start small and set that timer. It will make the task feel less daunting, and it will help you stay on track by setting that timer. All right, the third general tip I would like to share is the 4-box method. So when you're in a room, especially maybe a larger project, larger than your drawer, say you're going to do your closet in your bedroom. So get 4 boxes. 1 box will be for trash, 1 will be to donate, 1 will be to keep, and 1 will be to relocate. So as you declutter, you sort your items into those categories. That way, you're not leaving the room to go put it where it belongs. Because if you're constantly leaving the room as you're decluttering, you could get distracted with something in the different room. So have those boxes or bags, those 4 boxes or bags, right by you as you sort your items. So trash, donate, keep, or relocate. All right, the fourth general tip is one in, one out. So this is a really good mentality to keep just in general. So have a rule that for every new item that you bring into your home, you get rid of an old one. So this will help prevent clutter from accumulating in the first place. All right, so the fifth general tip that I have for you is to ask yourself some key questions when deciding whether to keep an item or not. So ask, have I used it in the past year? Do I love it? Does it serve a purpose? And finally, if I didn't have it, would I buy it again? So look at that item and think, if I didn't have it already, would I actually buy it? That might help you decide whether or not you should keep it. All right, 2 more things in the general tip. So be ruthless. So it's easy to get sentimental about things, but sometimes you just have to be tough. If you haven't used something in a year, chances are you're not going to use it. You have that great shirt in your closet and you love it, but you have nothing to go with it. If it's been in your closet for a year and you still haven't found the perfect pants to go with that shirt, most likely you're not going to. So get rid of it. And the last of my general tips is to be sure that you are fitting your space. So this is even furniture, items, all of those kinds of things. We have typically lived in a smaller house for the 6 of us. We have a larger home now, but for most of our homeschooling years, we had a small amount of square footage for 6 of us. And I was just always determined to not have furniture that was too big. And I was constantly clearing out clutter so that we were using the space that we have. So just really evaluate your space and make sure that you don't have too much stuff, because it's going to be hard to declutter and keep things organized if you simply have too much stuff. All right, now I want to move to some room-specific tips for you as you begin to declutter your space. So, all right, let's start in the kitchen. So, first of all, you need to go into your pantry and your refrigerator and get rid of expired or stale items. Okay, so, decluttering, we're getting rid of. Today we're talking about mostly getting rid of stuff. But of course, when you get rid of stuff, you might want to evaluate what types of containers you need to hold the things that are in your pantry and refrigerator. But also in the kitchen, I want you to think getting rid of duplicates of kitchen gadgets or tools that you hardly ever use. Really look at the gadgets that you have and get rid of things if you're not using them. They just take up space, they get dirty, they're in your way, and they make you feel crammed and crowded. Organize your cabinets and drawers, making sure that everything has its designated place. When you see duplicates, put them together, get rid of expired items, and just generally regroup everything in your kitchen. Remove everything from those cabinets and drawers, wipe things down, and then only return the things that you plan to keep. All right, let's go to the bedroom. So in the bedroom, go through your clothes and donate or discard items that you're not wearing or things that don't fit. Just get them out of there. They're just making you frustrated. Also, organize drawers. Use any kind of storage solutions that you think you need. But honestly, whatever you have currently, your dresser and your closet, just remove the clutter so that you have a little more space in there and so that the clothes can move around more easily and you can see what you have. Also, take a look at your nightstand and make sure that you declutter it. Keep only essential items there. Otherwise, you're just gathering dust. But wrangle items that you use on a regular basis into a basket or tray. I know by my bedside, I have things like earplugs and chapstick and different things like that I use each evening. But if they're just kind of all strewn on my nightstand, it makes me feel like I'm living in a mess. But if I can wrangle them into, I have a little box where I put everything. That way I can find it when I need it, and it's neat and tidy throughout the day. All right, let's go to the bathroom. So toss expired toiletries, medicines, makeup, whatever you have. The medicine cabinet tends to just gather old things that you're not using anymore. Just get rid of it. Don't have that mindset, oh, someday I'm going to use this. If you haven't used it for a while, just toss it. Get rid of it. Organize all of those cabinets and drawers using containers to keep items tidy, and then get rid of old towels or bath mats. Start fresh. Create a nice, clean environment. All right, let's go to the living room. So declutter surfaces like coffee tables and shelves, removing unnecessary items. I don't know if you're like me, but my coffee table can sort of get cluttered with books I'm reading or magazines that I'm not sure if I should get rid of them or not. Just get rid of what you can. Store on a bookshelf things that don't need to be there on that coffee table. Just keep it simple. Organize your media center. Perhaps you have old DVDs or CDs. If you're not using them, get rid of them. Dust, it tends to be a very dusty area. So make sure that there's a designated spot for everything. If you have a game system, have baskets for the remotes, different things like that, so that they're not all scattered throughout the room. How about your homeschool room or home office? So sort through documents, sort through papers, discard anything that you don't need. Organize your desk or have the kids organize their desks, keeping only essential items within reach. So a lot of times clutter is simply delayed decisions. So maybe there's that paperwork, you're just not sure if you need to keep it or not. Well, take some time to really look at it and decide if you need it or not. And if you don't, just get rid of it. Get rid of old office supplies, check pens, make sure they actually work. If they don't, just toss them out and evaluate the equipment that you have around. Get rid of things that you are no longer using. They're just going to be collecting dust. All right, so I have just a few more basic tips for you. So especially following up with what's going on in your office, I say digitize as much as you can. So instead of keeping the actual physical paper copy, a lot of times you can just scan important documents and store them digitally. That will help reduce your paper clutter. Another way, rather than scanning, is to just simply take photos. If you're having trouble parting with sentimental items, take a photo of them before letting them go. This could be even larger items. Maybe your child made a really cool sculpture and you really don't have room to keep it anymore. Take a photo of it. That way you have it documented. You actually have something to show that it was done. You could create quite a nice little portfolio that way of things that you could no longer keep, but you wanted to have a picture of it. So once you get all decluttered, make sure that you're spending that time to maintain. So you make the effort to declutter. So maintain the order by regularly putting things back in their place and avoiding clutter traps. So always be getting rid of stuff. Remember that rule of one in, one out. So if you get a new shirt, try to make yourself get rid of a shirt that you're not wearing much anymore. I always keep a big box it's an old hamper in the garage where I keep all of my things that I plan to take to the Goodwill. So I'm constantly adding things to my hamper out there. And then once it's full, I take it down to the Goodwill. So always be thinking about what you can get rid of. If you get something new, get rid of something old. So there you have it, a toolkit of tips and tricks to tackle the clutter and reclaim your space. Remember, decluttering isn't a race. It's a journey, and it's sort of a journey that is happening all of the time, okay? It's not a once and done thing. Decluttering is something that we need to be doing frequently. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, especially with those before and after photos. And don't be afraid to experiment to find what works best for you. Whether you embrace the minimalist lifestyle or you're just simply aiming for a little more functional and organized home, the benefits of decluttering help all of us, and it goes beyond just a tidy space. It can reduce stress, it will boost your productivity, and it will even improve your overall well-being. By creating a more peaceful and organized environment, you're not just decluttering your home, you are also decluttering your mind. So, take a deep breath, choose a starting point, and start making those small changes that can lead to big transformations. Happy decluttering! All right, homeschool moms, let's show some love. If you've been nodding along and thinking, yes, someone gets it, please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to this episode. Your reviews help other homeschool moms find this podcast and get the support in their homeschooling journey. It's like a virtual high five that can reach moms all over the world. Let's make the Intentional Homeschooler podcast the go-to resource for encouragement, practical tips, and actionable steps. You could also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And don't forget to tune in every other Thursday for a brand new episode. Until next time, you've got this, Mom.